Trace Adkins, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Welcome back to Indianapolis.
It's good to be here. You know, the acting stuff. I mean, I really get a kick out of doing that stuff. And so every time I get an opportunity to do that and it fits into my schedule, I go do it. So, you know, I stay busy doing that stuff too.
Well, the last movie we saw you in was Lincoln Lawyer with Matthew McConaughey.
Well, I've done a few since then.
And then
not
some
really
TV.
Big movies, but Mom's Night Out, I think, was a movie I did that came out last year. And I did a couple last year that'll come out this year. I'm doing another one in February, so I'll stay pretty busy doing that stuff.
Does anybody ever approach you with a character that is kind of against your type?
Well,
and would you take on something that was completely 180 degrees from what your public persona is?
probably not, and it wouldn't have anything to do with my public persona. I just don't have enough confidence in my acting chops that I'd be able to pull that off. You know, bikers and cowboys. You know, that's pretty much
That's your wheelhouse.
That's my wheelhouse.
There you go.
That's what I tend to do, and fortunately, that's about all the offers I ever get. You know, the last movie I did was a Western. I got hung, so that was the first time I got killed in the movie. But I did that movie because Christopherson was in it, and I said, "Yeah, man, I want to do something with him." And so I went and did the movie, and I was on the set for a couple of days, and he wasn't even there. I didn't even get to see him. But anyway, I got hung, so that was kind of cool. And then the one before that, it was this movie that's going to come out, I think, in September. Probably the biggest movie that I've ever done as far as budget goes. It's called Deepwater Horizon. It's about that rig that burned in the Gulf a few years ago.
Right.
Peter Berg's directing it, and it's got Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, John Malkovich, Kate Hudson. So it's, you know, a pretty big movie.
Wow, and what an interesting convergence of your own private life, your own background being working on the oil
when
rigs.
They called me about doing it, my first response was, if this is a Hollywood hatchet job on the oil business, I don't want anything to do with it. And they said, no, you know, because I worked in the oil field for 10 years, and so I didn't want to be a part of something like that. And they said, no, this is just, you know, it's an action film about what actually happened on the rig, and, you know, those guys that got killed and the guys that survived, how they survived and whatever. But I was out west somewhere in the middle of a tour, and my agent called and said, they want you to come do this scene in the movie. I said, look, I'm going to have to fly all the way to New Orleans and, you know, I don't know that I really. And she said, well, you're going to get to throw a guy around the lobby of a hotel. And I said, well, you know, that sounds like fun. But again, you know, still, I don't want to really fly. And she said, well, you're going to be throwing Wahlberg around. And I said, oh, okay.
Right there.
You know, if you got to sling somebody around, at least if it's a megastar, I guess I can fly to New Orleans for a day and do that. So went down there. I had a blast. I'm really glad I did it. It was fun.
Trace Adkins, Jesus and Jones on Country 97.1 Hank FM. Great song, a little bit autobiographical as well.
Yeah, really autobiographical. Casey Beathard, who's one of the writers on this song, Casey and I have been friends for almost 20 years now, and we've written songs together, and Casey's written songs and pointed them straight at me, and I've recorded a lot of his songs, but there have been a couple of times when he's called me and he's like, man, I just wrote a song and I think you're going to like this song. First time he did that was One Hot Mama. And the second time he did it was Just Fishing, and the song he wrote about his little girl Charlie. And, you know, we've watched each other's children grow up, so he knows about all my daughters. And so he knew I would like She Thinks We're Just Fishing. And then he called me on this song and he said, man, I just wrote a song and it's you know. And I said, well, let me hear it. And I got about halfway through the first verse, and I knew I was going to record it, you know, because it just hit me right between the eyes. And it is autobiographical. I mean, I grew up in the church, and the first opportunity I had to do anything musically was singing bass in a gospel quartet. And I did that for about 4 years. And at the same time, I was, of course, playing guitar and singing along with all my daddy's country records, you know. So long story short, at some point I end up singing George Jones songs in a beer joint. And so the conflict begins, you know, where on this spectrum between a church pew and a bar stool do I fit in? Where am I on this thing? You know, and it's a struggle that continues to this day. And I've had so many people tell me they can relate to the song because we all deal with this. You know, our feet hit the floor in the morning and we start making choices. We start making decisions. You know, we're going to which angel on which shoulder we're going to listen to today. And so that's kind of what the song is all about for me.
It's the classic Saturday night, Sunday morning kind of tearing you in either direction thing.